Either your life sucks or your life is excelling. Period. There is no middle ground. Either you are growing or you are dying. That is just the cycle of life. Period. That's just simply how it works. And with the few minutes I have left, I want to kind of share with you a model to kind of give you a realistic expectation of how this whole thing works. But the whole take an action thing. What's the first one? Right? They take advantage of other people's wisdom. And the second thing is they're decisive and they take advantage of opportunities immediately. Decisive and take advantage of opportunities immediately. When?
Immediately.
When?
Immediately.
Immediately means right now. But one of the things that I found out, and I've traveled around the world, I mean literally around the world, and have spoken before tens of thousands of people and had the privilege of helping thousands of people. And I've come to understand that what really prevents people from becoming successful is that they extract time from the recipe and the ingredients. It's like aborting a baby. You extract time so the baby never grows, right? How many here have kids? How many of you in 3 months you went to your wife and said, "Where's the baby"? Anybody? Does that even make sense? How many here have a garden? How many here know what a garden is? Now think about it. If you have a garden, or you know what a garden is, and you plant seeds in the ground, do you come back the next day kicking dirt, pissed off because you don't have your fruits or veggies or flowers? Yes or no?
No.
Of course not. And why is that the case? Because you understand the process.
Come on now.
Most people overestimate, get this, they overestimate how fast something can happen, and they underestimate what's required of them to make it happen. But everything has a cycle. Everything is a process. Think about life, right? You are born, right? Then you grow, you mature, and then, you die. Right?
Right.
See, come on, we can't escape the fact. Two things we know for certain. And taxes ain't one of them. Ask Wesley Snipes, right? He wasn't certain about taxes, right? But the government showed him how voluntary it is, right? Now, one thing we know for sure, you were born, right? Another thing we know for sure, you ain't getting out of this game alive,
Come on now.
right? So we might as well understand how this game works and we kick butt while we're playing it.
Yes, sir. Come on now.
Why hold back? You will die and leave everything behind anyway. Why allow your memory to be a spineless person that succumbed to the opinions of other people?
Come on now, Steve.
They could not muster up their own energy and get in touch with their own identity to live life on their terms.
Wow.
Why let that be your legacy? Why let that be the example you set for your kids? Why say it's okay to be spineless? It's okay to allow your identity to be defined and shaped by the opinions of other people. Don't let that be you. You're worth more than that, you deserve more than that, and so does your family.
Yes.
You have the opportunity right now to be their leader and to be their hero. In my family, I was the first person to ever become wealthy. If I would have followed their path, I would have probably been in the military and had a regular job. But good for me, you have to have at least a GED to get in the military, but I didn't have one. So when my dad was saying that, I was like, it ain't an option. Right? And then plus I got fat feet and asthma. Right? You don't want me in the military. Right? Come on. And you definitely don't want me on the front line unless you're going to use me as bait or something, right? And I ain't going to be nobody's bait, right? But this is the cycle of life. But what does the cycle of success look like? It will surprise you. It's what I call it's a grid that I created called LSME, and I'll explain that in a minute. And what happens is most people, they'll get on the grid, meaning like they'll come to an event like this, they'll make some investments, and they'll get on the grid, and they'll be what we call LSLE, and that is less sweat, less equity, meaning they're not really doing anything. They're doing what we call acquiring stuff, okay? So they're just acquiring some things, and they're talking about what they're going to do, but they're on the grid, okay? They're on the grid. And then they decide they're going to do something, okay? So they dive into the sea to get ready to do something, and now they get into the part where we call MSLE, which is more sweat, less equity. And they go into shock, okay? Why do they go into shock? Because it doesn't seem to be working the way people said it's going to work. They can't believe how much work they're putting in. It ain't much or nothing happening. They're supposed to be making money. They followed the 3 steps. They followed the 5 steps. They put in their hour a day. They can't believe it's not working. This is unbelievable. So they're in shock as they're taking their action. And they hit down here what I call all kinds of D's. They become depressed. They become discouraged. They become despondent. But it's also the decision point. This is the point where you either cut or continue. Most people cut and they leave the grid, only to come up here and try to find something else. And what they do is they have this roller coaster. They go from less sweat, less equity, to more sweat, less equity, and they just keep on like that. They just remain in this very, very negative loop.
This good stuff, Steve.
From relaxing to shocked again, relaxing to shocked again. But it's the very, very few that understand, right down here, that they're going to make the decision to continue. And they come to the point where it's MSME.